Okay, hi everyone. I'm Jackie, and I'm going to talk tonight with another mom friend of mine who I actually grew up with, Dawn Vino. And we were talking about ketones and being moms, and how found that being moms, ketones have made a huge change for us as it's made us easier to be moms. Hey, Dawn.
Hi.
All right. So I don't know why I can't do Facebook Lives anymore. I'll have to figure that out.
I'm wondering if it's an app issue because I seem to have the same issue trying to add you on there. So that's okay. We're here on Instagram. And so anyone here on Instagram can watch us live and then we'll share it over to Facebook for the rest of our Facebook friends to see.
Absolutely. So I was just saying we were talking. You're a mom and you're a single mom with two kids, and it doesn't matter, whether you've got one kid, two kids, six kids, husbands to add into the work or not. It's tough being a mom. There's
Absolutely.
always work to do. So it's
Yeah.
really tough to get through it all, have the energy to get through the day. And for both of us, we kind of started drinking our ketones at the same time. And it's just been a big change.
Yeah, definitely. I like to call it my super mom fuel. And I started drinking ketones because I wanted some help with fat loss. And then I'm actually blown away by the other benefits that I've actually had about that and how they make me a better mom. I'm doing this live in very much typical mom fashion. I'm hiding in my bedroom from my children so that I
Yeah,
can actually get 15 minutes kid free to do this video with you. So you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter if you have a single child at home, if they are a baby, or if they're a teenager. Our jobs as moms never stop. I know that I think you and I are a great pairing to talk because you've got six kids and you're working from home, and I've got two kids and I work full time during the day. So we really have two different mom perspectives, but
yeah,
both equally busy and equally difficult.
absolutely. So I mean, it just goes to show that it's not just one type of person, one type of mom. Even the dads feel it, and the dads work, although we know the moms do most. Um, Everyone benefits from having the ketones. I mean, just the health aspect for me from, you know, the different health issues I was having and the lack of energy. I mean, I would nap twice a day. I would put the
Hmm.
kids on the bus, I'd have a nap, and the other kids would be watching TV, and then I'd get up and I'd feel guilty that I made my kids sit and watch TV while I had a nap. And then I'd try and run around and get as much stuff done as I could, but it wasn't as quality at work as I was doing because I'd start on one thing, I'd get the laundry started, and then I'd be off doing doing some cooking for prepping for dinner or whatever, and I was just back and forth and scattered all over the place. So for me, I found that my focus became better and my energy was better because I wasn't napping when I put the kids on the bus, and then I wasn't
Hmm.
napping before I met the bus at the end of the day. So for me, the energy level was so high, the focus was so much better that it was just unbelievable that I started marking my to-do list, and it was just everything kept getting done and I was getting caught up and getting ahead on stuff.
Yeah, I used to hate the hours between about 5 and 7 p.m. I'd get home from work. I'd be exhausted. And the kids, I've gotten home from school, and of course, they want to be fed. That happens on a daily basis. And I would feel like I'd already put in a full day. Yet there are these two little people, and my kids are 11 and 14, and they need help with homework. They need to be run to their activities, they need to be fed, and then I need to do laundry. I need to do all those other things. And I used to come home and I get them fed and I do the bare minimum of what I had to do. And then I would hide in my bedroom and watch Netflix, or I would hide in the bath and just really just getting by. And I actually paid somebody to clean my house weekly for a number of years because I just didn't have the energy to stay on top of that. And really, since drinking ketones, I honestly wish there were more hours in the day because I have more energy than I have time to use it.
Yeah.
Today, as an example, like I got up, I did a full day vendor event promoting ketones. I got home and I gathered up the garbage. I went out, I went grocery shopping. I came home and I cleaned the kitchen. And then I did meal prep for the week and cooked for about 2 hours. And now after 9 o'clock, I'm still, wide awake with tons of energy, having this call with you. And that would have never happened before. Absolutely never would have happened before. And
No.
I'm still in a good mood and I'm not yelling at my kids, which I think is probably the most impressive out of everything.
Absolutely. I've got way more patience for my kids. And for those of you that don't know me, my kids are ranged from, 8 months old. I've got a 2.5-year-old. I've got a 4-year-old. I've got an almost 7-year-old. I've got an 8-year-old. And I've got a 15-year-old. And the
Mhm.
attitudes that go between the ranges, even my 15-year-old who, this weekend decided to brick his phone because, he didn't listen. And I was so frustrated with that. And normally that would have just ruined my entire weekend. And
Mhm.
it didn't. I got upset because, he wrecked his phone. But I didn't get as upset as I would have before. I was able to cope with it. I was able to handle it and deal with it in a better manner. Um, as opposed to, just completely freaking out, which wasn't going to benefit the situation at all. And I find that a lot of the day-to-day things that the kids are doing, I can handle it better. The things my husband does, I deal with it better. Right now is a really busy time of year for him, so he's working more hours than he usually would. So, I'm dealing with the kids and that more on my own during the day and evening because he's doing his classes and he's got other stuff on the go. He's still there, he's still helping me, um, but it's not quite the same balance as we usually have. So I found that I'm dealing with it a lot better than I normally would be. And the
Mhm.
ketones have helped me have that ability to cope. My daughter likes to say it's better decision making. She makes the decision not to get as upset with stuff, but
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that as much as I want to say that I again started drinking ketones in part because I wanted fat loss. And I think that as much as there's stress in lots of areas in my life, mom stress probably was the biggest piece. And I could go to work all day and follow a healthy eating plan and have no problem. But I'd come home and the kids would be fighting with each other. And then they wouldn't be doing the chores that I asked them to do. And that's when I started, emotionally eating and eating crap and hiding with potato chips. And so I think that's been the other bonus for me is I'm in a better mood. I have more patience for them. We're having more quality time together as a family, not at each other's throats. And I'm feeling good and being able to still stay in the evening compliant with the things that I want to do for my goals. And we have to take care of ourselves as moms. If we don't take care of ourselves and we're not healthy and we're not doing what we need to do for us, then we can't be there for our kids in the way that they need to. So really for me, being able to come home and not emotionally eat and not react to the stress, because my children are either the best of friends or somebody's going to lose a limb. There's really no in between.
yeah.
And we go up and down probably on about an hourly basis. So, I mean, for
Mm-hmm.
me to be able to, at the end of the night, feel like I was a good mom today. I'm not a perfect mom, but most days I'm happy if I can walk away saying I did a good job today. And I really feel like I am able to say that more and more every day that I'm drinking ketones. And nothing else in my life has changed. Um, Compared to last May, beginning of last June, and when I started drinking ketones, I don't have any less stress in my life. I don't have any more help. My kids didn't magically start doing chores when I asked them the first time versus the 10th time. The only thing that's changed in my life is putting that package of ketones in water and drinking it every morning.
Absolutely. I mean, we both started around the same time. We both kind of watched your sister Jackie Hamer using her ketones, promoting her ketones, talking about how great they were. And I know for me, I thought, yeah, she has a gym and she looks like that because she works out all the time. And even as kids, she was always running, always moving, always doing something. And I guess for me, my holdback with that was just that it couldn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had great weight loss myself. I know you look great. You've been doing awesome. And so we both kind of, I think, started for the weight loss, but we've continued it for the other benefits as well. I had no idea how sad I was and how baby blued out I was until I wasn't. I started feeling better, within that first 5-day trial. I signed up and because I felt so great. I
Yeah.
started feeling better. I was happier and I was more tolerant. And those that know me know that I was really cranky. And now I'm not as cranky as I was. I still have my days because they're
Mm-hmm.
not magic, and life is still got its frustrations, but I can handle it better. Um, and then the weight loss started happening after that, just because I had the energy and I was up and doing more, and I was, not eating all the time. Like you said, that stress eating, I was constantly eating, looking for that next fix for something to, help soothe me. And then I'd eat and then I'd feel guilty for eating. So then I'd eat some more.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just was a vicious cycle. And then I get upset with my kids because I felt bad about myself. And then they'd want a snack, so I'd eat snack with them. And then I'd be upset because they wanted snack and I had to get more food. And then it made me eat it, when in actual fact, it was my own choice. But
Yeah.
the ketones have given me that will powder, if you will, uh, to stop eating all the time. I wasn't hungry all the time. And even my normal meals, I didn't, you do the keto, but I didn't even switch to the keto diet. I just kept with what we
Mm-hmm.
were doing, but I ate smaller portions because I wasn't as hungry.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a huge stepping stool. It was a big crutch for me. It helped with, fixing a lot of the bad habits.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you mentioned diet, and I think that's one of the really biggest misconceptions. And is that people think that drinking ketones is something to do with the keto diet and that they have to give up all of their carbs in order to get their benefits. Your before and after photos are my go-to when people make a comment about that, around the idea that ketones can help, whether weight loss is a goal or fat loss is a goal or not. They do such amazing things for you, and that the byproduct of feeling better, having more energy, and just having that mental clarity to get all the stuff that you need to do get done, then leads to that secondary piece of making better choices, eating less food, eating more healthy
Mm-hmm.
food, and then you lose weight. I, as a personal choice, find that I'm successful trying to stay as close to keto as I can, and my partner has a seizure diagnosis, so he follows a keto diet for health reasons, because keto is used as a treatment for epilepsy. So we try and do that, but at the same point, if I started eating carbs again tomorrow, I would still feel just as good because I am drinking those ketones every day. And that's a really amazing thing, because so many other products out there come with this laundry list of expectations and rules that you have to follow in order for it to be successful. How many things out there are the instructions simply open the package, put it in water, shake it, and drink it? Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
really not anything else that I can think of out there that's as simple and as easy to use and portable. I mean, I got probably 4 or 5 packs in my purse at any given time. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about taking all kinds of supplements and measuring food and doing all these things. It's easy, and it works.
Absolutely. And for me, with all my kids, I could never lose weight while I was breastfeeding. Some women say, oh, you breastfeed and you lose all this weight just because you're breastfeeding. It's so glorious. Yeah, it wasn't. That was a load of crap. It never, ever worked for me. At one point, after one of my kids, my second one, I think it was, I joined a gym and I started going to the gym. I went 3 days a week and I was religiously working out. I was watching everything that I ate. I was counting all my carbs. I was counting everything that I ate. I did all the macros, and I wasn't losing a single pound.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I found I couldn't lose weight while I was breastfeeding, and it was very frustrating because there's nothing usually before ketones that was safe for someone who was nursing, because they all
No.
said if you were breastfeeding or pregnant, don't do this. Um, And some of them would say, check with your doctor first. And your doctor's always going to say, if it says there's any kind of warnings, if the company doesn't approve it, your doctor's going to say, then don't.
Hmm.
And the Prove It ketones, it says right on it, safe for pregnancy and safe for breastfeeding. And I had no change in my milk. I had no change in my supply or anything else. The baby didn't react any differently once I started drinking my ketones. And because babies are born in ketosis.
Yeah.
And there was no change for me while I was nursing him, for him responding to my milk, which was amazing because I started losing weight for the first time while I was pregnant or while I was nursing. And it was just amazing for me that could happen because society, while we don't really look at it, everybody always says, oh, well, how long since you had the baby? And then they look at you like to see how much you've lost, to see how close you've rebounded.
Yeah.
And, this is the first time I've ever rebounded. I have now rebounded to like before my first child.
Yeah.
So
And when you talk about that rebound, I don't think that there's a group of people on the planet that are harder on ourselves and harder on each other than moms, right? You look at People magazine, you look at the Kardashians, and you just look at this. There's these expectations that are put on postpartum moms to fit into this particular mold. And I mean, as I said, my kids are 11 and 14, and I still haven't rebounded to, where I wanted to be. I'm getting there now. But the piece for me is that I find that we need to be gentler with ourselves and gentler with each other as moms. So having a product out there that we can share that we know helps people feel better and helps them be better at being moms, that's part of why I jumped on board to start promoting, was because I wanted to talk to everybody in the world about ketones. I just absolutely love what they've done. And when you talk about the restrictions for moms that are breastfeeding, who needs more energy and mental clarity than the mom of an infant?
yeah,
Sleep deprived.
absolutely.
Yeah, a sleep deprivation. Your hormones are all over the place. You're trying to keep up with the rest of your family as well as an infant. So the idea that there's something out there for any moms of babies that are watching that can help you feel a little bit more normal after having a baby and being at home with an infant, then that's definitely something I wish was around when my kids were little.
Well, you have the pregnancy brain and the baby brain, and then you have the new mom brain, and then you just have mom brain because you get so foggy and you get so caught up in everything else and you're so tired. I mean, I don't have that anymore. I've got the focus and the clarity back that I haven't had in years. And I find that I really enjoy that 3 o'clock in the morning, breastfeeding, nursing with my babe, and there's other moms. It doesn't matter whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding. You're up in the middle of the night with that baby, and it's exhausting. And I really started enjoying the middle of the night times because I wasn't totally exhausted. When I do sleep, I get better sleep. I don't get any more sleep, but the quality feels better. So it seems like I've gotten more. And I take the time during the night to cuddle with my baby and enjoy the middle of the night feedings. And that just was a game changer. Instead of rushing through my moments that I'm never going to get back because eventually they're going to be older and they're going to be grown up and they're not going to be hanging out with me as much. And I get that quiet baby snuggle in the middle of the night and I love it.
Yeah.
Before I was like, oh my goodness, are we going to do this again? Why won't you sleep? And now I get to enjoy it because I have the energy and I don't have the anger that I had in me before, and kind of the upset and the constant worry. Is the baby supposed to be awake? Even just those little things, they all add up when you start worrying about them all the time, and it just makes it so much easier to cope and deal with that. So with the energy and the fat loss and the curbed hunger and the focus and the reduced brain fog, there's so many benefits to different moms and that, and even the dads that, get up and help feed with the feedings and that. And it's just a game changer for parenting.
Absolutely. And we're talking about moms today because that's who we are. We're moms. Ketones are definitely for everybody. You don't have to be a parent to have benefits for ketones. That's just one of the roles that you and I play. So we wanted to talk about that today. And but really, ketones have benefits out there for everyone. I find that one of the things when you talked about what you're talking about just right now, it really feels for me that difference between teetering on the edge of feeling like I'm going to snap, I'm going to yell at somebody, I'm going to get frustrated, or I'm going to have a breakdown and go cry somewhere, and gives me that buffer zone that I can handle whatever gets thrown at me. You can handle the cell phone getting broken. I can handle when my son's lost his fourth pair of glasses in the last 6 months. And the house isn't that big, so I don't know where they go. But I'm not reactive anymore. I'm not yelling anymore. We're able to try and problem solve. Exactly what you said. I'm not any less frustrated or angry, but how I manage that anger and frustration, how I communicate to my kids, is so much better. And our job as moms is to teach our kids how to problem solve, how to cope with stress and anger. So if I'm able to demonstrate that for them, and I'm able to walk the walk around what I tell them about using their words and not getting angry and not yelling, then I'm setting them up to be more successful as they get older. So that's huge.
Absolutely. I mean, they definitely follow our lead. And I was watching my kids and they were starting to respond to upset and anger in the same way that I was. They started yelling, they started screaming at each other. And I realized that the words coming out of their mouths were exactly what I had said to them. So as soon as I stopped them and said, oh, you know what, we don't talk to people like that, I went, oh my goodness, I said that to you. I said exactly that to you like half an hour ago. And for me, that was a big eye opener. And I realized, I felt really bad and I didn't like it. And I found that with ketones, I don't have those moments as often. There's still times where I'll say something and think, probably shouldn't have said that. But they're not as often. I mean, I'm still a mom. I'm not perfect. And I'm never going to be perfect. My house isn't always going to be tidy. My laundry's not going to be caught up. I would like to see it even close to caught up someday. But, you know, we're parents. It happens. Nobody's perfect. And I don't think that moms are very accepting of each other, and they're not afraid. They're too afraid to lean on each other and say to another mom, oh, I'm so frustrated with this, because they're expecting to be judged, and they expect to have, another mom look and go, oh, what do you mean your laundry's not done, and that sort of thing. And I don't think that's fair to other moms, because this is the reality check that we said we wanted to talk and give people, is that we've been there. Every mom is frustrated at some point. Every mom is exhausted and doesn't know how they're going to make it and what they're going to do next. And ketones have given us the ability to kind of step up and say, okay, nothing's really changed. Still tired, still frustrated, but not the same kind of tired, not the same kind of frustrated, and we can deal with it. So any moms that are out there that are thinking, what can I do? Reach out to Dawn, reach out to me, wherever you saw this, let us know, and we can help you get started with a 5-day or 10-day, or just, answer any questions about ketones and how they've helped us, because it's definitely been a big game changer.
All right. Well, I've got at least one I've got to put to bed. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I've still got a couple kicking around.
But it was great chatting with you tonight, and hopefully there's some moms out there that we can help.
All right. Thanks, Dawn.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too. Night.